This week on WestfordCAT News, Selectmen finalized a public hearing on 2 aggressive dogs.
And while it's unclear whether these dogs are a threat or not, clearly the owners are not capable of managing dogs on their property.
We bring you the results of the May 7th townwide election, and we tell you who won the annual Westford Road Race. Welcome to WestfordCAT News. I'm Christina Liedberg, Assistant Director at the J.V. Fletcher Library. Before we get started, I'd like to remind you to sign up to our email alerts to get our latest Westford News articles. Just visit westfordcatnews.org and click on the red subscribe button in the upper right corner. Do you have a local issue that you want others to know more about? Our News Director, Joyce Polino Crane, would like to hear about it and perhaps collaborate on telling your story. Email jcrane@westfordcat.org to team up. In a public hearing on May 8th, the Board of Selectmen deemed 2 dogs as dangerous after they mauled a toy poodle to death on April 17th. Their owner, Haley Gallagher, defied a ruling requiring her to turn the dogs over to the town's animal control officers by 11 a.m. on May 3rd. Town officials do not know where Wendy, a black lab mix, and Luca, a pit bull mix, are living. But selectmen unanimously voted to label both dogs as dangerous. The board members also voted to have the dogs humanely euthanized. But enforcing the decision will be difficult without knowing where Gallagher is keeping the dogs. The final motion of the hearing was crafted by Town Council Greg Corbo and unanimously approved by the board.
I move that if the owners fail to comply with the board's dangerous dog order, that animal control be directed to issue notice that all dogs on the property be turned over to animal control. And if there is non-compliance with that order, that town council be authorized to initiate civil enforcement with respect to the board's dangerous dog order and the order of animal control as to any other dogs.
Selectman Andrea Perriner's suite was absent. To watch the entire meeting, visit westfordcat.org. Westford Academy Dean Robert Ware appeared before school committee members on May 6th, seeking approval to add 4 overseas trips for spring 2020 proposed by teachers. The members voted unanimously to add Puerto Rico, England and Ireland, and Portugal for April vacation, and Japan for late June into early July. The cost would range from $3,700 to $4,600. Here are committee members discussing how to help some families with financial assistance for such a trip.
I think this is the 3rd year in a row we've talked about it, and I think I think there's been sort of a general interest in, wouldn't it be nice if there were a fund, a formalized fund or something? Yes. I feel like we talked about that last year. Did. Yeah. I'm going to put it out there again. I don't know what I'm asking for, but if I think if there's interest in somebody wanted to help organize, I think that would. I don't know what that would fall under. If it would be a parent group that would do that.
The committee voted unanimously to approve the trips. In other school department news, Superintendent Bill Olson recommended Ingrid Nilsson to replace Finance Director Kathy Oth, who is leaving the job as of June 28th. To watch the entire school committee meeting, visit westfordcat.org. The turnout was dismal, according to one precinct warden, but the 937 voters who made it to the polls on May 7th did the job. Alicia Mallon and Sean P. Kelly were elected to the school committee in the only contested race. With 415 votes, Daniel Goldner missed the mark. Mallon was the frontrunner with 674 votes. Kelly came in second with 459 votes. The election attracted only 5.5% of the town's 16,907 registered voters. Mallon has served on the committee since 2017, when she was appointed to the unexpired term of Tom Clay. Clay vacated the seat when he was elected to the Board of Selectmen. Newcomer Kelly is a local attorney practicing in Lowell. The 7 other contests included 2 open seats for selectmen, with Scott Hazelton capturing 742 votes and Andrea Perriner-Sweet garnering 693 votes. Both are incumbents. The Board of Health, Housing Authority, the Board of Library Trustees, and Planning Board all filled open seats in this election. For all the election results, visit WestfordCATnews.org. And now for our feature of the week. In 2003, the Environmental Protection Agency required cities and towns to get a permit that would allow melting snow and rain to flow into ponds, lakes, rivers, and wetlands. Agency officials wanted communities to pay attention to what that water runoff contained. Town engineer Paul Starrett and town tax collector Kristen Collins paid a visit to the set of Main Street with host Joyce Polino Crane on May 2nd to discuss state-required upgrades to the town's storm water management system and how that upgrade would be paid for. Here's Starrett explaining why stormwater management is getting so much attention.
All of the receiving waters where rain and melting snow ends up carries pollutants with it, and so the EPA, these many years ago, starting back in 2003, required municipalities like Westford all across the country to start paying attention to the pollutants that were getting into our stormwaters. They gave us 6 minimum control measures to satisfy. We had to do public education, part of what we're doing here today. We had to create ordinances here in the town for stormwater management and illicit discharge. We did that back in 2008, 2009. We also had to pay attention to erosion controls on construction sites, both during construction when there's a big likelihood of there being erosion into our waters, our natural resources, but also we had to pay attention to erosion and runoff after construction happens, and a couple other items that we had to pay attention to. So following the permit that was issued in 2003, the EPA issued a new revised permit, and that came out in 2018. The difference is that the first permit in 2003 required about 3 dozen different things that the town had to do. The new permit, depending on how you count them, is over 200 items that we have to do.
As tax collector, Collins is tasked with recommending ways to fund the upgrades.
The selectmen will be hearing from us and the consultant at their May 28th meeting to talk more about a fee. That is one option, and the fee has been discussed. We showed some slides at town meeting to show a representation of what a fee might look like. In those samples, we had the smaller home or the less impervious surface on a property might be a $45 a year fee. An average home would be about $75 a year, and a larger impervious area on a residential property would be about $113. Commercial customers would pay quite a bit more because it's based on impervious surface. The fee would be based on impervious surface.
To watch the entire Main Street show, visit WestfordCAT.org. Hundreds participated in the May 5th annual road race. Established 20 years ago by Lori and Herb Cogliano to raise funds for Westford nonprofit organizations. The race offered a family fun run, a 5K, and a 10K race. Roads were closed from the town center to Patton Road and beyond. Lee Ann Wayne Kahn, 37, won the 10K race, and Courtney Cronin, 31, was the first woman to cross the 10K finish line. In the 5K race, Doug Johnson, 49, finished first. And Amy Sharma, 14, finished first among the women runners. 13-year-old Adam Wedlake and 12-year-old Riley Mako were top finishers in the family fun race. Lori Cogliano stated she didn't yet have a final figure for how much this year's race brought in. But over the course of 20 years, she has raised about $400,000. For the remaining race results, visit iresultslive.com. Team Forever Young held a Cinco de Mayo fundraising party on May 4th to support the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. Here, team member Lori Welch provides an overview of the raffle, silent auction, and the people who made it all happen.
So all this over here is a wheelbarrow full of cheer, all donated. Over here are all the prizes that go along with the balloons. You pop a balloon, you get a prize. There's nobody that doesn't win. As you can see, we're inundated with over 200. And this is just the raffle. Then we have the silent raffle, the silent auction, which is amazing. You just go down and it's just, the silent auction is incredible. We have signed Bruins jerseys, we have spa, we have unlimited car wash, we have painters, we have home improvement, gift cards. I mean, the donations just are endless. It's everybody that reaches out to a family or a friend and they know how important this is, and they're just giving, loving people. It started with Billy Duggan, a Westford native, wonderful, amazing man, and Nancy was very good friends with him. And she started the walk with 3 faces on our shirts, and they now have 33. I knew my sister as the most caring, giving, loving human being, always there for me. But then I also knew her skeletons in the closet. And you would do anything you could to help, but sometimes you just couldn't help enough. So we just want people to know that you're not alone. You do matter. And whatever it takes, there are so many people that will do what we can.
The event raised almost $16,000, according to event coordinator Nancy Cook. Over the years, Team Forever Young has raised more than $600,000, Cook said. Stay tuned to WestfordCAT for more on this event. Recycling Commissioner Ellen Hardy wants you to know about the changes occurring with what and how you recycle. Before you put another thing in your recycle bin, watch this.
The job of the Westford Recycling Commission is to educate all of the households in Westford about what can go in the recycling and what must go in the trash. And we're here today because it's changing. The industry is changing and there are new rules. But there is a wonderful website that will help you, and we are here to help you. I want to introduce you to a website that's called Recycle Smart, MA, and it's also known as the Recyclopedia. Well, we're going to do some samples here. We borrowed a next-door neighbor's recycling toter, and we're going to just see what's in here, and if everything's in here, should be in here. So we'll just start with something that's very basic. Just a paper bag, no other material in it, and that's in exactly the right place. That can stay in the recycling toter. The next item, I have both a grapefruit juice and a milk jug, and these can both go in. And the question always comes up, what about the tops? Please put the tops back on or throw them in the trash. The recycling company doesn't want anything less than 2 inches in diameter. So if you're going to do the tops, they have to be attached. And you'll notice also she stomped on both of these so that they take up a lot less space and you can put more in your toter, because we're hoping it will be chock-a-block full every single week, every 2 weeks. Water bottles, absolutely, they're 100% plastic. Again, she's kept the top on. That's terrific. That's exactly what the recycling company wants. This is a shopping bag, so let's just go back to our Recyclopedia and see what it tells us about a shopping bag. So we'll go down to where it says gift bag, because I got all kinds of bags, and it's gift bag, paper. That's what we've got here. Isn't this nifty? Okay, what it says is, with no metallic parts or foil, we don't have any of that, but it also says remove the string. So you see, this is a different fabric. This is a different material. So what we have to do, and this will take us about 2 seconds, is just to take the string out of this bag on both sides. There are two handles. So those just come off, and then in it goes back into the toter. So there are an infinite number of packaging items that everyone in Westford is bringing into their home every single day, and we're hoping that the Recyclopedia MA will teach you what to do with them. But if you have any questions at all, the reason that the 7 members of the Recycling Commission are here is to help you learn how this works. As we put in the flyer that we mailed out to everybody last year, think you know what to recycle, think again, the rules have changed. We're learning as you are learning, but hopefully we're a couple of steps ahead of you. Please bear with us during this learning curve, because in the end, the result is that the product that the recycling companies get will be a better product, and eventually the markets will come back, and it will not be as expensive for all of us as it is now. So it's also mandated by the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. We must recycle. It's not voluntary in the state. So let's all do this together and have Westford's recycling be the best in the Commonwealth. Thank you.
Until recently, China took all of the recyclables from this country. But Chinese officials have stopped taking the items, prompting recycling companies to turn to other countries, which are far more stringent in what they'll accept. For more information, visit westfordma.gov and click on the recycling link. Now here's news from Town Hall.
Hi, I'm Jody Ross, your town manager, here with a weekly update. And today I'm here at Forge Beach. It's a beautiful spring day after 10 days or so of rain, and so I'm here with Parks, Grounds, Recreation and Cemetery Director Jim Duane, and we're going to update you on the Forge Beach Rehab Project. Absolutely. So this is a project that the town meeting and the Community Preservation Committee and the state all contributed funds to. I believe it was about $700,000 from town meeting, and I think actually a sidewalk or summer village mitigation funds were used too. Correct. And also about $100,000 of state, with most of the funding coming from CPA. But so Jim, can you tell us a little bit about where we are on this project?
Sure, absolutely. Thank you, Jody. As mentioned, we're doing a rehab down here, and currently we are in the process of completing the final design, working with the Planning Board, the Conservation Commission, and a couple of other committees in town in order to ensure that the end result is functional and aesthetically pleasing for the town. So as we go through the process of final design, we've had a few night meetings. We're working through some of the details, and some of the major components of the project will be to shift the entire parking area away from the water resource, as well as to reduce the amount of impervious pavement and try to restore some of this area to the lawn area. And then the other major components of the project are the construction of a new accessible playground, along with some accessible pathways to connect the new parking to the new playground.
So Jim, I know one of the complaints when we were down here last summer with the residents was the parking lot, and that it was difficult for cars to maneuver. There wasn't adequate parking, and I know we can see that some of the parking lots deteriorating. Can you talk to us a little bit about the specifics of the parking lot rehab?
Sure. So as part of the parking lot plan, one of the challenges that we have at this location is that the parking is very informal. Cars park haphazardly, and it reduces the availability of parking depending on how the cars park as they come in. What we're going to do, and it may sound counterintuitive, but as we reduce the asphalt area, which is beneficial to all of the surrounding wetland vegetation as well as the pond, we're going to formally stripe the parking area that we do recreate, and it will accommodate 50 vehicles in formal parking spaces, along with an associated number of handicap accessible parking spaces to accommodate, not just people that might be in wheelchairs or mobility devices, but, we do have an aging population that does like to come down and use these types of facilities, and having appropriate accessible parking is beneficial for everyone.
So I thank you very much, Jim, for providing us an update on this Forge Beach rehab program, and of course to the town and the state CPA for supporting this. It's quite a project, and we'll come back in the summer and see how things are going. But in closing, I just want to remind the public that the Selectmen will be meeting again on May 28th, and they're going to be discussing stormwater and the whether fee or taxation, including a budget projection for the next 3 years. And also mark your calendars for our strategic planning retreat at Kimball Farm, which will be held on June 13th at 5:30 p.m. So thank you very much. Till next time.
Truro, an 8-month-old tiger cat, is available for adoption. Here's Westford Cat's production coordinator, Patty Stalker, with more.
Stop by the Lowell Humane Society on Broadway Street in Lowell and fall in love with one of the many pets they have available for adoption. This week, Marketing and Fundraising Manager Crystal Arnott introduces us to this spirit cat named Truro.
So this is Truro. Truro is about 8 months old and came to us from a colony of cats living on a farm in Dracut. There are a big number of cats there at that location, so we're trying to help trap them, spay and neuter them, and for the most part, we're returning them to the farm, but there have been 6 or 7 who we feel can be socialized and live in a home environment. Truro is the last of that group that we took from the farm, and she, despite hiding a little, is really come light years from when she first came into us. She initially was so terrified she would immediately run away anytime any of our staff would even approach her. She would hide her head and look away and freeze like a statue. But now she's becoming a little bit more brave. We have spent the last month socializing her and getting her used to people and making her realize that people bring good things like food and treats and snuggles. So initially she's a little nervous, but then as she becomes more comfortable with you and her spaces, she becomes much more brave and likes to investigate and is a really big cuddler. She loves to be pet. She loves to snuggle up on your lap or even be held. She just really, really likes people. It just takes her a very long time to warm up to them. So she would be an ideal adoption candidate for a home with older, quiet children. Loud noises and young kids would probably freak her out because those fast movements and noise would be too much for her. But older kids who are quiet would be a good match, or a quiet older home would also work out well. We do offer assistance as well. Our staff are here to guide adopters to help their new cat adjust to their home as best as possible. So that goes for any adoption, but especially these cats like Truro, who are going to need a little bit more TLC and a slower introduction to a home. She's going to definitely need a very small space to start with and a very slow introduction to the whole home. But once you get through that process, it's so rewarding to see, how far they can come with their socialization.
If you think you'd like to provide Truro with her forever home, or would like more information on donating to or volunteering at the Lowell Humane Society, visit them Tuesday through Sunday at 951 Broadway Street in Lowell, or go to lowellhumanesociety.org. Call 978-452-7781. You can also find them on Facebook. For Westford Cat, I'm Patty Stalker.
Mother's Day is upon us. Let's see what the weather will be like for moms in the Boston area. Here's Westford Cat Outreach Marketing Director Sarah Fletcher with suggestions for things to do in the area.
Thanks, Christina. The Apple Blossom Festival kicks off on Wednesday, May 15th with the arrival of the carnival at the Abbott School and continues through Sunday, May 19th. On Friday, May 17th, Dance to the music of the Westford Academy Dance Band in the Abbott School Gymnasium from 7 to 9 p.m. At 9:30, watch fireworks in the Abbott School Upper Field. Then start Saturday early with a pancake breakfast from 8 to 11 a.m. at the First Parish Church at 48 Main Street. That will put you in the perfect place to watch the parade beginning at 10 a.m. The procession will end at the Abbott School, where this year's Queen will be crowned. The coveted Rhodey Bowl will be awarded to the parade's best float, and Terry Stater will be honored as the Kiwanis Club Person of the Year. For more details, visit westford.org/Kiwanis. In honor of Mother's Day on May 12th, women are invited to a breakfast at the Cameron Senior Center on Monday, May 13th at 9 a.m. The event is sponsored by Westford residents Patty Mason, Mary Alcorn, and Angela Harkness. Jose Ramirez will discuss his latest book, The Last Baseball Season. Advanced registration is requested. Residents can call 978-692-5523. The Cookbook Club will meet again on Thursday, May 16th at 7 p.m. at the J.V. Fletcher Library. This month's pick is King Solomon's Table by Joan Nathan. Copies are available for checkout at the main desk. Those who would like to bring a dish from the cookbook are asked to contact Sarah Regan at 978-399-2309. No registration is required. I'm Sarah Fletcher, the Marketing Outreach Manager at WestfordCAT. Back to you, Christina.
That's it for now, Westford. We leave you with photos of Westford pups whose owners contributed through Facebook. Have a great week, Westford.